everyone. Welcome to the Americana Station podcast. We are back for a new season. Thanks for tuning in. Today on the podcast, we have Bronte Fall, who is a Chicago musician that has made her way to Chicago and has a new EP out called Winter. It's fantastic. You should check it out for sure. So we took a little hiatus because it's been busy. So I want to thank Emily Smith so much for taking over a couple of the episodes for me, and India. That's been super awesome. She's actually going to do another episode. Starting to think maybe I can, make her another co-host. We're trying to talk her into it. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, what's been going on with me? I finished my record. I finished mixing it. I am almost done mastering. I am 95% of the way there. I currently have a Kickstarter going for Tioga Titan, my new record. It is a full-on honky-tonk record. If you stick around till the end of this episode, I might give you a little taste of it, a little snippet on the way out. So if you're interested in my music, check out my Kickstarter. It is, you can just search Will Payne Harrison on Kickstarter. It's you'll be able to find it there. And, we got stuff. We got the new shirts, new hats, new CD. What else we got? Mugs. Next week, I'm going to be releasing a couple more, special, rewards that aren't out there yet. There's also, what else is there? There's like the main package. You can get an 8x10 signed photo that I took of myself, self-portrait. I've been doing some portraiture lately, if you didn't know. And so that's been super cool and super fun, getting all those lighting techniques down. But I won't nerd out about that because this is a music podcast. And I'm really excited about this new record. It is very country and honky-tonk. It's full on. I kind of sidestep some of that folk and Americana stuff that I've been doing in the past for just a full-on like country record. So I hope that everyone enjoys that. India Ramey is currently down at South by Southwest. She will be interviewing the Kentucky Gentleman here soon on the podcast. We got a lot of great new episodes that are coming, but for now we're going to talk to Bronte Fall. Hey everyone, welcome to Americana Station. Today on the podcast, I have Bronte Fall. They have a new record out, or is it out or is it coming out?
It's coming out March 4th.
March 4th, yeah. So yeah, by the time this comes out, it'll be out. And Bronte Fall consists of Terry Bracken. She's a songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, incredible violinist. I was going to say fiddle player, and tell us a little bit about how you started this project, this EP.
This particular EP, all the songs were written in 2020. And we all know 2020 was like not the most fun year, very difficult year.
Right.
I just had a lot going on, and it started with a tornado. And I was living in East Nashville and I thought I was going to be Dorothy and my house was going to like fly away with the tornado. And 2 trees fell above my bedroom while I was sleeping. And
oh my gosh,
it was so scary. I was displaced for 2 weeks. And then I got back into my house on a Friday and like the world shut down on Sunday. And I was just like trying to get my bearings and then also just like went through a breakup that year. My dad's battling cancer, like just a whole lot of crazy. And then I ended up like moving in the middle of the pandemic because I was like, didn't want to be in my house anymore after the tornado. But it was okay, back to the music. I feel like I love this EP because I wrote so organically and I wrote when I could and I wrote my way through 2020. I mean, not like every day, but I wrote when I could. And I had a producer and we had just started to get together like in early 2020 to just like lay down whatever I had. And then by the end of 2020, we're like, okay, we have 6 songs. I found the producer, I started writing with the producer. And by the end of 2020, we realized we had like an EP.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You were talking about, you had just gone through a breakup and your dad had cancer and he was in Ohio. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a hotel room getting surgery, a really big surgery. So like the entire month or like from July through September, he was in a hospital in Ohio, and my mom and I like lived in the hospital, or we lived in a hotel in Columbus, Ohio. And like I was finishing school and going through a breakup, and also in the middle of a move in Nashville. So it was just like 2020 was insane, but it was kind of cool that I ended up having 6 songs at the end of it.
Was Indiana inspired by, like, it's kind of like a throwback to your childhood. Was that inspired by like that process too of like kind of seeing your dad?
Yes. Kind of like, so I say, I want to grow young again. I want to have fun again. Swing set highs and bedtime lows. Love is too hard. Life is too short. People change. But I feel like the love is too hard. Life is too short. It was just like some of the things I was dealing with, like my breakup and my dad, and just kind of, and then trying to hustle in this music industry. We all of us as musicians, we dream big when we're little, right? I mean, I'm still dreaming big, but we just have this ideal version of adulthood. Right. I did, of how it's all, I'm going to be so great. I'm going to be this successful musician. And you just like, you think of adulthood as this idyllic, like arrival. And I just don't, you realize that it's not the case.
Well, you're always you, and you're always in the present. So like, when you're 12 and you're dreaming of where we're at, like we have made it to that 12-year-old, but to that 30-something-year-old, it's like, no, I'm not there yet. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
The 12-year-old is like, do I pay my bills? Yeah. Do I get to go play shows? Yeah. Like, like we're nailing it. We're in Nashville.
Yes, I know. That's such a good point. That's such a good. Where are you from?
I'm from Louisiana originally.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been in Nashville for about 8 years now, but it is funny. It's funny because you forget sometimes, like you go back to, I go back to Louisiana, and, you talk to some people and you're like, oh my God, you're doing this and that. And you're like, yeah, you're like, you're friends with that person. You're like, yeah, that's just Joe. Like, that's just Chris from Dirt Reynolds. Like, who cares? No big deal. And they're like, oh my God, it's like such a big deal to them.
Totally. You realize, in a way, how far you've come, kind of.
Right. Yeah. We got sidetracked a little bit there. So you, in 2020, you started writing these 6 songs. Were these the only 6 songs you wrote, or were these just like, these are the ones that I'm going to choose? Are there other songs that were written during that time period that maybe we'll see in the future? Or?
Definitely. Yeah. Yes, definitely. These were the ones that were ready. There's definitely more, and that's probably for the next project. I liked these though, and naming this all winter, because so my band name Bronte Fall, it's based on a poem by Emily Bronte, and it's a really simple poem. Fall leaves fall, die flowers away, lengthen night and shorten day. I shall smile when wreaths of snow blossom where the rose should grow. So it's like thinking the winter is so beautiful and the fall is so beautiful. And I thought that was such a beautiful metaphor when I started my band. But fast forward to these songs, and I was like, wow, that would be really cool to call a project a season, taking from my namesake. And just representing like this sad time. These songs are sort of the silver lining, and these are the hope. And this is, I don't know. I just thought it was cool to find the beauty in our pain.
Yeah. Are you like, is this like going to be like sort of fleshed out into, winter, spring, summer, fall, or is this just like a one-time kind of winter EP?
Such a good question. When I made it, I was like, okay, this is winter, and the next EP or album is going to be spring, or maybe it's going to be like a full length album called Winter Spring. And I decided, as I've written a few more songs, I I was kind of getting stuck thinking like, this has to be spring. This has to be happy songs. So I have that in the back of my head for the next record to be spring, but I want to see kind of like what comes out of me. And also not try to push it, like write these really happy songs that are, not authentic to my experience.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking it kind of brought to mind like Sufjan Stevens and his wanted to take on all 50 states. Didn't really pan out. Are you familiar with Sufjan Stevens?
I know who he is. I don't know the 50 states thing.
So he started off with, I think, Come On, Phil, Illinois, and decided I'm going to write like a record for each state. And I think he got like 3 or 4 in. I think there might be like in Nebraska. I'd have to look it up, but he got like 3 or 4 in, was like, this isn't for me.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine writing about every single state? I don't even know if I could name offhand every single state right now.
I couldn't either. And yeah, writing a song for each state. I mean, South Dakota, what do you write for South Dakota?
Right. Yeah. Or like Montana.
Yeah. I know.
No offense to any listeners in Montana. Hopefully I don't know. I hope I do have listeners in Montana, but I hope I don't offend them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is difficult to kind of get stuck in that rut of like, oh, maybe I should do like set number of like, it's almost like a concept, but it's not really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's funny. Just like a few months ago, I was like, God, I don't know if I can write a spring record right now.
It is funny because like my this next record makes me seem a lot happier because like I've been writing some sad songs, and it's just ironic that like there's during like the time that I've recorded this, I've had like the hardest 2 years of my life. And I'm writing like some of the happiest music I've ever written. It's kind of a weird juxtaposition.
Oh my God. I can't wait to hear it.
There's still some sad ones. There's always, I can't get away from sad, but.
Yeah. Those are always so fun.
So on the record, did you, I know there's a lot of like electronic influence in there. Did you have like studio musicians in there? Did you do most of it yourself?
Gosh, we had 3 other musicians come in. It was like the height of the pandemic though. So it was really a lot, just Jake and me. And I think sonically the last 2 records, I've like kind of had myself on a leash being like, no, it has to sound this way. I want to be this, like, I want to be a little bit Americana, maybe a little bit pop, like, but it also has to still sound American. Like I kind of let that all go in 2020. I was just like feeling like I wanted this to be a pop song. And so we made it a pop song. And I just was feeling experimental and just kind of like, whatever happens, whatever's, I'm just going to like in the moment, like experiment and be excited about what comes out. And it was just like so not contrived. And I kind of liked it. Like it was kind of an experiment in itself, just being like, okay, let's not try to fit into some certain box.
Yeah. I think every record should be that way. Like just stop, turn your thinker off when you're in there and just let it happen.
Yeah.
I see you had, so on electric guitar, you had Lars Thorson, keyboards, Dylan Jones, and then Hadley Kinnery was harmony. And then you had Jake Finch was producing.
Yes. And Lars Thorson, I met in music school. We were both fiddle, violin players. She's more fiddle, I'm more violin. But, and then we had both moved to Nashville. And with him, it's fun because he's on my last EP that I released in 2020. He was a co-producer, and I was really trying to like toe the line between Americana and pop. But with just Jake and me, he's so into like indie pop, and I kind of, I guess embraced that more. But yeah, Lars and Dylan both play with country artists. And Hadley's more of a indie pop singer. Not that you asked. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's awesome to know the kind of the background of that, because sometimes, you get like, I get specific musicians sometimes for like a specific sound or specific reason. For instance, my fiddle player on my record was Meredith Krigowski, and she plays with Adrian plus Meredith. And she's more like folksy, traditional. She did polka, growing up, because she's from like Wisconsin and stuff. And so like she has like a very unique sound that's really, really cool. And I'm excited to, I've had some bluegrass players and some like Fats Kaplan played on my last record, and he's incredible. But I'm excited to have Meredith on this new record. It's cool to experiment and have something different, It
totally is. I can't wait to listen to your music. And I am like a super fiddle nerd. I grew up playing classical music and then always wanted to get into something else. Like I knew I played classical violin, but I didn't want to play classical violin. I wanted to play I wanted to be Boyd Tinsley and Dave Matthews. And I got into music school, Berkeley, which is a contemporary music school.
In Boston?
On classical violin. Like I played a Beethoven sonata. And then when I got there, like that's when I was really exposed to bluegrass and swing. And I mean, I'd heard jazz, but it just like blew me away, all these different styles. And I went through that program, and I feel like I tried all these different styles, and now I can't play any of them.
Are you like a sheet music reader or?
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I can play by ear. Like I really like Irish fiddle music and old time.
Yeah. Do you ever go to any of the jams
I do, and more old time. Old time is really what I've kept up.
Mm-hmm. Do you go to the one in the Post?
The Legion?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been there yet, but my friend runs it, Amy Alvey. I went to school with her. I need to get there.
It's great. Really it's a lot of fun. Actually, for fiddle, the old time jam is like super fun. For guitar, it's pretty boring. It's just like two chords the whole time. But
I bet
the fiddle players love it.
Yes. I need to go there. Do you go there often, or?
Not since the pandemic, really. But I used to go, and I'd come late to the old time, play a little bit with them, and then jump in with the bluegrass guys. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Now that one's intimidating.
Yeah, bluegrass is intimidating. Do you play bluegrass guitar?
I can flat pick. I actually did some flat picking on my new record for the first time. But I wouldn't say that I'm a bluegrass player by any means, but I go to learn. So
yeah, cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Definitely wouldn't. If a real bluegrass player came up to me and asked me if I was a bluegrass player, I would say absolutely not.
I know. I know that feeling.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You should definitely go sometime.
Yeah, I will.
So what's your style for songwriting? Do you prefer to like co-write mostly? Do you start songs on your own and then bring it to someone, or are you completely like, this is all mine? I do see there's some co-writers on there. Yes.
And I feel like the reason there's not more is because of the times of 2020. But I feel like I moved down to Nashville so that I could co-write. I really do like to co-write. And if in an ideal world, I would like have these songs that I feel like there are some songs I know that I just need to write myself. Mm-hmm. And then other times I do really I just feel like my songs come out better when I co-write. And I feel like I'm still on the journey in Nashville, like finding my favorite people to co-write with. Right. Outsmart Love. And then 2 songs on my last EP I wrote with this guy, Isaac Slutsky, but he moved back to Virginia and he's not really pursuing the music thing anymore. So, but yeah, I feel like it is hard to come by those people you really, really like to write with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. And then if you do, you find someone that you really would love to write with, or you have written really well with, you're both so busy finding the time to, when you're not like on Music Row just writing songs all day for money, and you have other means of income. It's hard
I know. And the other, I would say, like, as far as my style, like, I am such an ideas person. I'm always writing, taking like voice memos and writing in my notes, and I have a journal, and and I've been so busy with this release and like this tour, all self-booked, that I haven't had time to write a lot. And I've just been writing all my ideas, like whenever, writing them down. And April is going to be really fun. I'm going to have a lot of songs to write.
Yeah. So I did miss the tour date part. Tell me a little bit about that. Where are you going? Oh, here it is, tour announcement.
Yeah, I'm doing a little Midwest tour, and that's why I'm in Chicago right now. I'm doing a release show in Chicago this Saturday, and then I'm doing a release show at the Basement in Nashville on St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, I'm doing like 10 shows between Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Indiana. And I'm taking like 3 weeks to play them. So yeah, it starts tomorrow in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois.
Yeah. Yeah. So tomorrow is the Rose Bowl Tavern.
Yeah.
I now have the information pulled up so I can look like I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're playing the Hideout Inn in Chicago. I have not played that venue, but it sounds like a fun venue. I usually play like the Elbow Room or Uncommon Grounds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've played both. I really like Uncommon Ground. I feel like there's always a little bit of a trickle of just people who come in for live music just because like you don't have to draw them.
Yeah.
And I'm playing at the Hideout. I actually worked at the Hideout when I lived here. It's a really cute indie venue. Actually, Nico Case used to work there.
Oh, cool.
And like Wilco's played there. Andrew Bird's played there. Wilco has played there a lot. Like they love the Hideout. But yeah, so I'm very excited about my show at the Hideout.
How does the live show look? Is it going to be mostly the tracks, or do you have a live band?
I have a live band, and because my band started here. I started it in 2015, and I lived here until like mid 2017. So I have a band here, and basically decided to use those guys because it's like all the shows are like 2 to 3 hours from Chicago. 2 to 4 hours. So yeah, I'm doing one full band. I'm doing full band in Chicago and full band in Nashville. And then the rest are trio.
Is the band from Chicago playing at the Basement, or is it a Nashville band?
That's my Nashville band. It's funny, like moving.
Yeah, no, I know. I know the drill. Yeah.
I now have 2 bands, which is very handy because, and as you know, like this tour, to get all these dates, they're kind of like more aimed at the weekends. Mm-hmm. So I'm like a country star. I'm out like Thursday through Sunday as opposed to like, for the whole week.
Yeah. So, right. Because those Mondays through Wednesdays just it's not worth it most of the time.
Yeah. And if I took my Nashville guys down here, I'd have to pay them on their days off. Like it would get really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know Layla Frankel by chance?
I opened for her in Chicago.
Oh, cool.
At Shuba's. I do know Layla Frankel. Oh, wait, sorry. I
don't think she's played Shuba's.
There's 2 Laylas. I do know Layla Frankel. I wrote a song with her that's on my previous EP.
Shut up.
Yeah.
She's a good friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No way.
I think we played at Uncommon Ground together, actually.
Oh, nice. Yes. Sorry. 2 Laylas. But yeah, that's awesome that you know Layla.
Yeah, she's great. I think she just came out with a record during COVID as well.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, she's a Chicago gal.
Yeah, so then you're going to be also playing a So Far Sounds. You're playing in Appleton at Gibson Music Hall. Is that related to the guitars?
I don't think so. But Appleton, Wisconsin is randomly like a really awesome little music town. They have a great following. They just have music enthusiasts that live up there.
Yeah, I know about Mile of Music, and I have a few friends that live up there that always go out to Mile of Music.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think because of Mile of Music, they just like have a great little scene up there. And I am doing, after this weekend, the Illinois leg, I'm touring with 2 other Nashville artists, Katie Peterson and Grace Tyson. And they like together, it was very handy to like book to do a tour with like 2 other artists who are also trying to book. So it's like I handled Wisconsin and Illinois. Grace did Michigan and Katie did Indiana. And we're like, it's called like the Nash Gal Takeover. So,
are they multi-instrumentalists as well? So you can kind of switch out.
Katie plays keys. They all play instruments. Grace plays guitar. So yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be so fun though. It's just like girl power.
Yeah.
It's going to be really fun.
And so like they're all from up north too. You're just from different areas. So like one of them's from like the Wisconsin, one's from like Michigan.
Yes. They're actually both from Michigan, but Katie went to college in Indiana, in Indianapolis. So, and I'm from Illinois, and have family in Wisconsin. So we just like cover 4 states combined.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I did that a lot. When, I would go down to Louisiana and like bring a friend, and then they would bring me wherever, so wherever they're from, and kind of, nail because I'm not going to bring a lot of people in Athens, Georgia, because I've never been there before, but the person that I'm on tour with might. So it's a real smart way to kind of use each other as like the anchor for your area to kind of pull in more people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, totally. It's very handy.
And so St. Patrick's Day is the big show at the basement.
Yes.
What time is it at?
It is at 9:00.
9:00.
Yeah. It's the late show.
And everyone's going to be wearing green, of course, right?
Of course. Yes. I've got to work on my outfit for that show.
It's a Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I need to add an Irish song to my set list. I actually tried to get my friend who's an awesome Irish fiddler to open the night, but her name's Brownwyn Keith Hines. She's like incredible. Like I think she was nominated for an IBMA award for fiddle playing, and she's completely morphed into a bluegrass player. So she said she couldn't because she doesn't play Irish anymore.
That's a bummer.
I know.
Ironically, one of my really good friends is an insane bluegrass mandolin player. He went to like a bluegrass mandolin school and everything, and he's playing with an Irish band now.
No way. Yeah. What's his name?
Caleb Edwards. The name of the band's Runa. Caleb's been on the podcast before.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So he does a lot of Irish stuff.
I love that.
So it's always fun to kind of get outside of your comfort zone and do something a little bit different than you've ever done before, I think.
Totally. And the thing about music is there are so many different genres, and you can jump into a different genre and just feel like you're in a different country. It's
right.
A completely different language.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because I grew up on country music. I'm from South Louisiana, but in Cajun music and stuff like that. But like, I always thought of myself as like a folk singer. And I've kind of just, I've found my like stride with just like going full country. And you just, I think I've developed a lot as a country musician. But I think at my heart, think of myself as more of a folk singer. So
it's so interesting. Like for me, when I write, I feel like I write in a pop way or pop country. Whenever I play my songs stripped down by myself, I do sound like pretty folky. I just sound like pop folky. But then with right now I feel like with Winter, I feel like it's coming across like more pop. I don't know. It's just like funny how when you're by yourself and what you think of yourself and then kind of how it comes out.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely hear the pop elements, but I wouldn't say like,
you wouldn't say, okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was pop. I mean, unless like, is Casey Musgraves pop, you know?
Yeah.
She's like, I think it's a similar, not to compare you directly to, but like, she's got that similar,
that. Yeah.
Where it's not really pop, but it kind of is too,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny too. Like I've been applying to like different playlists and like the playlists that do pick me up, and I feel like I'm in between genres. I'm not getting picked up by like pop playlists. Like I got picked up for my last single that I just released. It's like indie pop. They call it indie folk pop. That's what they're calling it. Indie folk pop. Like, okay.
Dark pop, dark indie pop.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of, yeah. You can like just make up not make up a genre, but yeah. Indie folk pop, winter chill,
rainy day pop.
Yeah. Rainy day pop. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, you know, because I mean, whatever you call it, someone's going to call it something else. I've just been saying like my new music's honky tonk. I mean, it's not totally like, I mean, to honky tonk purists, it's not honky tonk, but there's not, I mean, you know, with what country is now, if I just say I'm country, then people are thinking I'm going to be like writing Luke Combs songs or something. So you got to say something.
Yeah. When you said old country, I got it. I feel like.
Yeah. I usually just lead with like Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson.
Yes.
In the 70s.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm trying to go for. I'm not saying I'm nailing it, but that's kind of the vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. I want you to meet my friend, Stacey Antonell. She used to go by Ginger Cowgirl and she's going to go by her name, Stacey Antonell, but she does like really awesome, like modern honky tonk country music.
Ginger Cowgirl sounds familiar. I've probably seen her. She play at the 5 Spot.
She's played at the 5 Spot. She hangs out at the Legion all the time at Honky Tonk Tuesdays.
Yeah. Yeah. I may have seen her before then. Yeah. I don't know if I've met her though. Yeah. Okay. Legion is great. Everyone should go.
I know. I love it too.
Yeah. So after the tour, releasing the record on, was it March 6th?
4th.
Sorry. March 4th. Then the Basement, the big hometown release show on the 17th at 9 p.m. What comes next? Is there more touring later in the year or?
I am going to start working on touring in the summer a bit. I have not started working on that yet. I'm kind of running behind. But I really have a million songs I want to write. And I've been missing writing, just being so busy with this launch. So I think what comes next is a lot of writing. And then I am excited for this tour, but I'm excited for April and May to kind of like, sorry to be redundant, right? And then pick up touring again in the summer. Nice.
Yeah. It's always fun it's like such a cycle though, you know, like it's
totally.
Whatever you're doing, you want to be doing the next thing in the cycle, you know?
Totally.
It's like, yeah, I just wrote a bunch of songs. I just want to record them. When you're recording, it's like, I just want to tour. It's like you're touring. I just want to write.
Totally. That's so true. That is so true. Like, you're over it. You want the next thing.
I'm so over recording. Yeah. I've been doing it. I started drums in May of last year and, it's just, I've been doing it all on my own to save money. And, I'm like self-producing, self-recording, mixing, mastering, play bass, guitar. Wow. Yeah. You know, yeah. Anything that I could play, I played and did, but, it's taken a long time, you know, whenever like at this point in my life, I have a full-time job, until, you know, the pandemic calms down and I can get back out on the road. So, it's just been like, I'm at the very end where I have like one final mix of all 10 songs basically. And then I'm going to master it. And it's so hard to make myself do it because I've been doing it since May of last year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wait, and I'm sorry, did you say you play all the instruments too?
All the ones that I can play. No, yeah, I had I hired out fiddle, pedal steel,
Okay.
Harmonica, electric guitar, and baritone sax on some of this stuff.
You played drums though too?
No, I hired drums too. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just bass, guitar, keys, vocals.
Nice. Yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah, and like this record is, I really thought like I was going to get it all out in 2021. I'm like, okay, I recorded and produced it all in 2020. And it was, I mean, I finished it right at the top of 2021, but then it just takes so long to get to brand it and, you know, plan the release. And then of course my album's called Winter. So I can't release winter and fall. Like I have to release winter and winter. So that became very tricky.
Yeah, I know. And then it's, but then the cycle, no matter what, like the cycle is, it's going to do whatever it's going to do. So you start in winter and the next thing you know, it's summer and you're singing songs about winter.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I honestly, when I started in May of last year, I think I fully expected to release it in March of this year.
I know.
And I am starting my Kickstarter in March. So.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I'm going to look out for it. That's exciting.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like, I mean, things just take forever in the music industry, especially when you're limited on funds and time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like weird. Like I do feel limited on time and I want to get stuff out as fast as possible for whatever reason. And then like, it takes so long.
What, do you play for other people? Like, I know you said you went to school for, fiddle violin at Berkeley.
Yeah. You know what I did when I first got here? I was playing with, oh my God, what is his name? His name is Jason something. I can't remember his name, but I was playing with someone and then I was playing in a wedding band. I was playing classical music in a wedding band and then also working on top of that. And it honestly, it all became too much. And that was the other thing. Like after this release, I'm going to get back into like, I'm going to seek out like fiddle opportunities. I want to get into Lachlan strings. Like I have all these plans too, but then like, I don't know, this release right now has really taken up all my time.
Yeah, it's tough. And, excuse me, it's like, it's just such a weird time because like I have a daughter, and she's only a year old. So it's like, I don't want to go out and meet all these people and be around all these people and then get COVID, which I ended up getting COVID anyway, but like, and then bring it back to her, you know, so it's like just thinking about all of those things. It's kind of kept me from like playing shows and going out and doing the networking thing, but hopefully soon it'll be over.
And like everyone is dealing with that. Like, like your daughter and then like and when I'm home in Chicago, I was always so careful about like, oh, my dad, you know, and like, and in Nashville it wasn't as bad because I didn't have like I wasn't living with, you know, kids or a sick father. But I do feel like everybody kind of had a reason to be careful, or a lot of people did have a reason to be careful. And 2020, 2021, they were really tough and really tough on the music industry. Yeah.
If it's like the Spanish flu, then the third year is when it starts toning down. So hopefully, if history repeats itself, we're on the tail end of this. But I remember the last person I did was actually a fiddle player. Oh shoot, I'm gonna forget. Kellen of Troy.
Definitely heard. Is it a girl or
no? It's a guy. He has red hair. And he, I think that was like March of 2020, and we weren't sure if we were going to do it, and we're like, you know what, we'll do it. It's fine. And we did it, and we kind of stayed away from each other a little bit. And we were like, yeah, this kind of sucks. It's ruined this month. And we're talking about it. If you go back and listen, it's just like, yeah, but you know, by next month, it's like,
oh my God,
2 years later, we're still here.
I know. I know. It's insane what we said at the beginning too. Like, I feel like even like my friends who were in med school or like nurses or doctors were like, oh, just give it 2 weeks. Like that weekend when it shut down, they're like, we just need 2 weeks. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. 2 years, 2 weeks to 2 years.
Yeah. It's crazy. I think I've done 3 in-person interviews in the last 2 years. In between, like it was like when everybody started getting vaccinated and it was okay. And I've done, I think 3 in the last 2 years.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
Wait, that means I think I've been doing my podcast for like 4 or 5 years now. It's like, it's like a vortex of like these last 2 years. You just lose track of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's a long time.
Well, before I was doing one a month. So it wasn't quite, it was only like the first couple of years was only like 12 each year. Then it started picking up. So I was doing 2 or 3 a month. And now I have a couple of co-hosts. So that helps out a lot. India Ramey, who, if you haven't heard of her, she's incredible.
Definitely heard of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's a kind of country. Yeah. Yeah. Like country Americana singer songwriter. And then, Emily Smith sometimes helps out. And she was doing stuff for a few different podcasts for some different I can't remember the name of the company right now, but she's starting to do some more different stuff. But every now and then she helps out. I think she's going to be doing one right before yours.
Oh, nice. Cool. And they're both like singer-songwriters, artists?
Emily's not. Emily, I think, is more just a music fan.
Okay.
But yeah, I think she's from Tulsa. But yeah, she comes in and helps out whenever things get hectic sometimes.
Yeah. You don't have, or are you from like the New Orleans area, or are you like, you don't have a Southern, like your accent is just so.
I'm from Tioga, Louisiana. And I think I beat the accent out of myself because it was kind of annoying to me. So yeah, it has kind of gone away a little bit. The more I drink or get tired, it comes out a lot more.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah. So you wrote a song about Indiana, but you're from?
I am from Chicago. I spend a lot of time driving through the state of Indiana on I-65. And the song was inspired. I was playing a show in Indiana and just kind of like down about adulthood and feeling like, oh, wow, adulthood is way harder than I thought and everything going on. I guess this was written a little bit before, but I went to play a show and I thought nobody would show up. It was at a vineyard, a winery outside of Indianapolis. And it was just kind of like, oh my God, why am I even doing this? It's like, is it even worth it? No one's even going to come. Just kind of like being a negative Nancy. Yeah. And like, I showed up and there's like 100 people there, all like sitting at the stage. It was this beautiful, it was a winery and everybody had like their blankets out and their lawn chairs. And there were 2 girls in front of the stage and they were sitting down Indian style and they were like playing patty cake. And I just hadn't seen that played like probably since I was a kid. And it just like, in that whole, I don't know what it was about that weekend and about that day being in Indiana. I was super inspired. And it definitely has a Midwest vibe. I wanted the song to have a Midwest vibe. And while I'm not from Indiana, the word Indiana is sure catchier than Illinois. So
or Chicago.
Or Chicago. Yeah. Exactly. Talk about not a great accent. Chicago.
Right. Yeah. So did you try to lose that when you moved to Nashville?
I feel like when I left Chicago, I went to school on the East Coast. So, I feel like I also tried to beat it out of me. And I remember after during when I was in school and like after I lived in Boston for a little bit, my siblings were like, you've lost your Chicago accent. You've become an East Coaster. No, I haven't, but
Boston kind of has a similar-ish.
Oh yeah. The the Harvard Yard. Yeah, they've got quite the accent too.
But New Orleans is that way. It's like New Orleans, you know.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's different from the rest of the state.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a transplant though, and you live in other cities and other parts of the country, you do kind of like neutralize how you talk.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's weird because now at this point, I don't know, like when I hear people like put on like the really thick, like Southern accent, I don't believe them a lot of times. You know, well, in Nashville, I mean, specifically. Mm-hmm. And so like, I think that's what's kind of kept me from like going back to my accent is that I don't know that I would believe myself anymore.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's so funny. Yeah, I've never actually been to Louisiana. I do really want to go to New Orleans, but
now's the time.
Is it?
Yeah. It's Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. I don't know that I need to go like see drunk girls flashing. I think of Mardi Gras as like Bourbon Street and like girls like flashing people on the I don't know why.
No, that's pretty much everyone's thought process. I mean, there are definitely parades that are that way, but there's also like family oriented parades as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like 99% of the parades are not women flashing.
Okay. That's good to know.
But yeah, you go to Bourbon Street on Mardi Gras, you're definitely going to see women flashing everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my God. Maybe it is something to do. Like maybe it should be on the bucket list. New Orleans at Mardi Gras.
New Orleans is a great city to go to. And they got some great venues to perform at.
I mean, yeah, I am dying to go for the music and the food.
Yeah. Yeah. You should definitely visit sometime. It's a great place. Check out, like, God, it's been like 3-4 years now. Where were we? Howlin' Wolf and Chikiwawa is great. Gassa Gassa. Those are some great venues to check out.
Okay.
So the latest, before we go, I want to talk a little bit about Beyond the Rain, the latest single and video. That was inspired by the tornado. Yes,
it was. Yeah. And that's great. Like circle back to the beginning, like this album in 2020, I feel like my world was rocked during that tornado. And I really, it's funny with that song. Yeah. I thought I was going to be like Dorothy and like fly away with the tornado that night. And I actually purchased Wizard of Oz on Amazon Prime during that initial shutdown in April and watched the first 15 minutes of Wizard of Oz. And I basically quote her aunt. I forget her aunt's name. It's not Edna. I want to say her Aunt Edna, but Dorothy's aunt is like, Dorothy, like you're bothering us, go away. And she's like, well, where am I supposed to go? And she goes, go somewhere where there isn't any trouble. And Dorothy goes, somewhere where there isn't any trouble, behind the moon, beyond the rain, can't go by boat or by a train. And then she starts singing Over the Rainbow. And I just thought, that's so interesting. Like go somewhere where there isn't any trouble. Like she's describing Oz. And we sure didn't wake up in Oz, right, after the tornado. It was just like one thing. I mean, Nashville had the tornado, the pandemic, and then like a bomb on Christmas in 2020. It was like,
yeah, so we didn't have the best year.
Yeah.
Hopefully this, moving forward, it'll get a little bit better.
Yeah. But yeah. So
Aunt M, by the way.
What'd you say?
Aunt M.
Aunt M. Okay. Auntie M. Auntie M said it. Go where there isn't any trouble. And the first line of Beyond the Rain is, I thought twisters took you to a place where there isn't any trouble, beyond sickness, sorrow, pain, or cities in rubble. I felt like that was kind of like everything I was going through and the world was going through at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. That was so wild. I think I've said this before in the podcast, but like I had like 2 months of tours booked and it was like, bam, hurricane, which it missed me. I was in East Nashville too, but it missed me because I was more in Inglewood and And then literally I got laid off from my job and lost all my all my tour dates all within like 2 weeks. It was crazy for everyone.
So crazy. And then, well, and we're doing Zoom. I mean, I honestly hadn't Zoomed before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it is quite handy now. Maybe that's one positive that came out of the pandemic, Zoom.
I swore it off. One of the publicists that pitches me a lot pitched one of their people, and I was like, nah, we'll just wait till this is over. And she's like, well, why don't you think about Zoom and get back to me? And I was like, well, after like a month or something, I was like, I guess I'll try it.
Oh my God.
It's like exclusively basically what I've been doing.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God. But I am glad that live music is back in some capacity because it was miserable playing shows on Zoom.
Yeah. And the basement's great. They're still taking Vax cards and all that, and feels a little bit safer.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah. But yeah, thank you. Like, it's so fun to talk music and life.
Yeah. Congratulations on your show in Chicago this week. I hope it goes well with your Chicago band, and I'll definitely try to make it out to the March 17th show. Oh my
God, I would love that. Thank you so much.
All right. Here's a special 30 seconds of one of the new songs off my new record. This one's called Goodbye, Sweetheart. And thanks to Zach Russell, who's been on the podcast, for doing the harmonies on this one.
Goodbye, sweetheart. I'm sad to see you go. You threw away 10 years with a text on my phone. So I'll just sit here and drink till I forget your name.